me smile quite like you, at least the way you did when we were young. I know how to love without holding back, 'cause you taught me that when we were young. But now we're strangers. You were the one I used to love, and nothing's stranger than that. And when I see you, we just fake a smile and say hello, knowing we can't go back, because we're strangers, and nothing's stranger than that. Nobody knows me, baby, quite like you, at least the way you did when we were young. And I'll never tell those secrets that you share. I'll hold them tight, I'll never let them run. Even though we're strangers, you were the one I used to love, and nothing's stranger than that. And when I see you, we just fake a smile and say hello, knowing we can't go back, because If I could live 1,000 lives, watching morning come and the full moon rise, from the winter's cold to the summer sky, you I'd keep right by my side. If the heavens rearrange the stars, if they all fell down and broke apart, oh, I'd pick 'em up, every single shard, put the pieces back till they light the dark. If I could live 1,000 lives, watching waves roll out with the rising tide, watching days drift by like dandelions, you I'd always keep right by my side. You I'd always keep right by my side. You I'd always keep right by my side. By my side.